Ballerina stars Ana de Armas and Gabriel Byrne, and it tells the tale of an assassin trained in the traditions of the Ruska Roma organization, sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. So, if you saw the trailers for this, that's pretty much what it was set up, right? It's her father gets killed by these, cult members. It kind of expands a bit on the lore of the John Wick universe. And then, of course, she's out for revenge. And the standout in this film is the action. No doubt about that. This is classic John Wick fare, where it's top tier. It's top tier action. It's got the same kind of beats where she goes to get the weapons, she knows who the bad guys are, and then it's time to throw down. And when it is time to throw down, the action is looking fantastic. There's no complaints here. The movie does come in about 2 hours, though, so it does feel at times where it does drag a little bit. Like this should have been like maybe an hour and 40 minutes, and I would have been, this is a tight, solid film. But my overall impressions are that it's pretty good. It's not terrible. That's a good thing, isn't it? 76% by the critics, 94% by the audience on the tomato meter. So this is a crowd-pleasing movie. And I think if you just want to go into the theater with a big bag of popcorn, watch some action, then this movie is going to be for you. That being said, there is some criticisms that I have, and it felt cold at times. And what I mean by that is that, okay, we know who the bad guys are, but there's these training montages, and then there's her deciding if she wants to go out and fight the bad guys or not, kind of thing. And while the action sequences are cool and well choreographed, they're cold because you don't know who those bad guys belong to, right? It's just, they're just there. And, okay, so she's got to fight through these guys, but these guys have no relevance to who the real main bad guy is, Gabriel Byrne, right? It's just kind of like they're there, they're action set pieces, and that's what I mean by cold. Now, that's not a bad thing. If it was a shorter film, perhaps, but this is a little bit of a longer film, so that adds to this. This adds to the length and the time. Yeah, I think some people, you might be like, come on, guys, just get on with it already. We know where this is going. So let's go over to my score sheet and start filling out some numbers here, and we'll see where we land. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are 1 point. Acting is serviceable overall. There's no big bad guy speech in this movie. Ana de Armas is fine. You could tell that she's got that extra gear in her, though, because there's a few scenes where you're like, really? You're showing that much emotion? Okay, fine. Yeah, she's a great actress, no doubt about that. She handles the action very, very well. And the directing, Len Wiseman here, cinematography-wise, like the technical aspects were handled very well. I reserve the right to come back to that. But the story is fairly straightforward here, guys. This movie was like 70% reshot because I guess they weren't satisfied with the first run through, which makes you kind of question, well, which version are we watching, right? Like, was it really that bad? Cinematography is good. It does have some some flashy strobe light kind of stuff going on here. But what was another standout here for me was the score. So the score is out of a possible 1 point each. And I'm definitely going to bump that up to 1 right now because the sound, the beats, like they use music to the advantage here to set the tone and the rhythm of the action sequences. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And you know what? I am going to give cinematography a full point here because, as I said, the technical aspects are handled very well. The story is fairly straightforward. I might come back to the acting, actually. I might come back to the acting for 1.5. But let's go over to the tomato meter here and see what people are saying down in the snapshot reviews before I bring this around full circle to round out my score. Because you can see that I'm not quite as high as some of the other people. The New Yorker, in the John Wick films, Reeves has become an accomplished actioner. but the role fits him like a costume, not like a second skin, and that's equally true of de Armas, who is purposeful and determined presence nonetheless. What? What is that? Sorry, I don't even know what you just said there. Moving on. Yes, the stunts are always spectacular, but what makes the John Wick movies enthralling is the world, a parallel universe where international assassins operate in ultra-elegant surroundings without any interference from cops or, well, reality. Well, and they expand on that mythos, so I kind of like that. There's no complaints there. Frame rated. Ballerina would have benefited from giving us new characters we care about and taking more time to flesh out Eva's world, instead of relying on the audience's knowledge and affection for the John Wick franchise. Yeah, there is a little bit of fan service because of John Wick, and that will work for some, and it won't work for some others, as Frame Rated says here. Let's go down to the audience. Marlon M., non-spoiler review of Ballerina synopsis. We don't need that, Marlon. Please. Miles, saw Ballerina, and it was non-stop action from beginning to end, and a great entry in the John Wick universe. What I really liked about Ballerina was that it opened the door to have John Wick show up in other, like, wings and other arms of this universe, right? Because we know that after chapter 4, it's kind of like done, even though they're making a 5th one, and I wish they wouldn't, but because the chapter 4 was so poetic. Let's not digress. It just opened the door for him to pop into other, like, installments and be like, oh, okay, yeah, we still get to see John Wick, but, like, you know, his main story is done, right? That's what this was kind of like alluding to, and I felt like all of that stuff really worked. It did. So 4.5 stars from Miles there. I would not say that it's nonstop action. It does take time in the middle and towards the third act to kind of like bring things around full circle. There's a few story threads in there with long lost family members and stuff that's kind of like, what? If you went to the washroom, you would totally miss that story beat, right? There is some stuff there. But James, it's a John Wick movie, and you're not supposed to take it so seriously. Well, yeah, but you know, you're watching this video for movie criticism, so I'm going to criticize. So be it. But overall, guys, it's a fine experience, and that's where I'm going to land. Let's go over to the score sheet and wrap this up for Ballerina and see where I land. Watchability factor. It's out of 2 points. And if you like the John Wick universe and you are curious to see where this goes, and if you want to see it on the big screen, I say see it at least once. And I'd probably watch it again, I would say. I think I'd probably watch it again. Let's give that a 1.5. I'm going to give the acting also 1.5 because of the ensemble. There is some really cool scenes in here with Anjelica Huston being the mentor of the Ballerina school. And she does have a really cool interaction with John Wick, where it's kind of like, are you sure you want to become this kind of person like me kind of thing? That worked. Keanu always shows up. 7 out of 10 for Ballerina. Seems about right, guys. For me, at least. And that's a good score. It is. I stand by it. I think a 7 out of 10 is a terrific score for Ballerina. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think I should have been a little bit more gracious? Acting was great. Action was great. But the story, the 2-hour runtime hurt it. And that's what I gotta say. All right, guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. We're also reviewing the new shark movie, Dangerous Animals, with Jai Courtney, in the comments section below. Let me know what you thought about both of these movies this weekend. You're watching Mirror Domains!